What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy. So I wanted to talk to you guys. This video took forever to put out because I did this twice. I did it 4 times yesterday. Sorry, 3 times yesterday and 1 time today, and each time it was just awful. So here's fingers crossed. But what today's video is going to be about is what my top 5 worst carbohydrates are. These are what my personal opinions are. They are based on facts, so I did do research about them so I can give you some details behind them, something that I've been researching and why I think these are the worst carbs. They are my top 5 worst, so there may be worse carbs. I'm sure there are worse carbs. I mean, who are we kidding? There's worse carbs than what's on here, but they're what I think are the worst carbs. So without further ado, let's get started into the video. Let's take a look. Just watch it. Stay tuned. So let's get started with right off the bat, number 5. The number 5 worst carb in my list is what I think is terrible for you. It's gonna be white bread. Bread to me is one of the worst carbs that you can have. There's really no nutritional value in it. It's filled with refined sugars, added starches to it to give it that elasticity. It makes it stretchy and doughy and kind of stick to your ribs. That refined sugar that makes it white bread, that makes it that color, is also the type of nutrient that makes you crave it more. So sometimes a lot of Americans have bread with every single meal throughout their day. So if you're breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you're having bread. So you're having bread as toast for your breakfast. You're having bread as sandwich, some sort of sandwich. If you're eating a sandwich in a burger or a wrap, you can get whole wheat wraps, but mostly your bread is going to be, from your burgers and stuff like that. And then even for dinner, you'll also be having some sort of bread, some sort of starch there. Salads themselves, even salad places where you go get salads, they kind of offer you a roll. So bread is really not really the best thing. Now, when I say that, I do want to mention that everything in moderation, right? So if you are going to have bread, just make sure that you are limiting yourself and don't go crazy. Don't have it 3 times a day. Some of the nutritional value in bread is kind of pointless. You get 1 slice of wheat bread. It has, I believe, 60 calories in it with about 13 grams of carbs and 0 fiber. So you're not really going to get filled up on white bread. And to be honest with you, the same kind of applies to wheat bread. The only difference here is in a single slice of wheat bread, you'll probably get about 3 to 4 grams of fiber, which is going to keep you full longer, which means you're not going to constantly want to eat bread. So number 5 is white bread generally, because there's really nothing nutritional about it. I mean, it's a great source of carbs moderately, but it's just you're not getting enough carbs for the amount of calories that you're getting in. And when we're talking about good carbs versus bad carbs, we're talking about whole carbs versus refined carbs. Now, whole carb is just that, a single ingredient such as potatoes, fruits, vegetables, berries, things of that nature that are a single ingredient, don't really have much preservatives, and everything about them is all natural. On the other hand, you have your refined carb, high in fats, sugar, cholesterol, 0 to no fiber, and then you have a high calorie count in this carb with very little portions. So you're consuming a small amount of carbohydrates and a small amount of food for a higher calorie content. So just, refined carbs. Number 4, I'm gonna do a scrolling thing. I'm gonna have a little guy scroll across or run. It's just gonna be a number. You'll see it. You see it now. Anyway, so number 4 is going to be French fries. French fries kind of like wheat bread, all in moderation, or sort of like white bread, all in moderation. You don't want to continuously have this, especially you don't want to have it daily. Fries in general are made out of potatoes, so which is a genuinely good carb for you because it does have that high carb content and it's a lower in calories. And there's no preservatives added to that. But what's making French fries bad, as you guys know, the added fat from being fried, the added salt. With the added salt comes the acrylamide that's within salt that may lead to possible cancer. I hate saying that because it just sounds dangerous. It sounds like I'm threatening you, like, hey, don't have a fucking French fry because cancer. It's not at all, but I mean, it's bad if you feel, no one wants to think about cancer when they're eating food, but I mean, it's just true. It was a fact that I read. But anyway, that's gonna be number 4. So French fries, due to the high fat content, the way that they're prepared. Now you can obviously have this in moderation. You can also have a healthy alternative to French fries. Instead of frying them, maybe put them in the oven, maybe air fry them. I hear those are really good. I've never personally done that, but if I am going to have fries, I will have Chick-fil-A fries just because they're amazing. But then I'll also bake my fries. So I love sweet potato fries. Great carb. Love sweet potato fries. but I usually have that as my go-to carb because it is super high in fiber, great nutritional carb, and it's a simple carb, so there's not really a lot of added ingredients to it. Number tres leches. Tres leches is going to be cake. And basically any kind of pastry, if you're being honest with you. So cake and pastries kind of all fall into the thing of refined sugar and added preservatives and added fat and added everything, where there's really no nutritional value after the fact. Once it's done and it's put on your plate, I mean, yeah, there's eggs in it, but like a little bit. And then with the eggs that you add to it, I mean, do you really get any nutritional content from that? And then you get milk, which has, you know, fat and then some calcium, good for your bones. But everything else is awful. Most pastries have shortening in it, which is one of the worst trans fats that you can put into your body. Now, a single slice of chocolate sheet cake, you're looking at about 400 to 500 calories, about 16 to 17 grams of fat, 50 grams of carbs, 50 grams of carbohydrates with 41 grams of sugar. So you're putting, and as you know, if you don't know, carbohydrates will eventually turn into glucose in your body, and what glucose is basically sugar. So now you're putting carbs that turn into sugar into your body, plus another 41 grams of regular sugar. So, you know, don't do it. You don't have, I just wouldn't recommend it. I mean, no one's, as I mentioned, that carbs in moderation aren't bad for you, but I mean, I don't think anyone's having cake in moderation unless, well, I guess I take that back. People should be having cake in moderation. No one should be having extensive amounts of cakes. If you're having cake daily, why don't you invite me out to your places? Because I want to know how you live if you're having cake daily. And I get it, sometimes Sharon comes into work and it's her 50th birthday and she's really excited, so she brought cake to the job for everyone, and you're just like, oh no, I feel guilty because I don't really talk to Shannon, but now I feel like I need to. Now I'm gonna eat her cakes and be like, hey, no, we're kind of friends, right? I ate your cake. So no, you don't have to do that. But let's move on to number 3, because I rambled here. Number 3, am I on number 3? No, I'm on number 2. Number 2 is going to be candy and chocolate. So kind of your candy bars and your chocolates. Now this can be also put into number 4, but I feel like separating them because they, you know, one is a lot more easily accessible than the other one. So not everyone's baking you a cake, but you can get chocolate and candy literally anywhere you go. I think you can get them at like a dog park. But if you really needed to eat this candy, make sure that you're eating it in moderation. I'm gonna throw this word out there all the time because I believe that calories are the biggest problem to weight gain. So most of these foods have high calories with little to no nutrients in them. So let's just make sure that we're having them in moderation. But one of the reasons why they're the worst for you is because most candy bars are high in saturated fat. They're high in refined sugar, which can lead to heart problems, heart disease, diabetes, things of that nature. And of course, these things are terrifying. And I don't like to say things like, hey, this could lead to diabetes, because that sounds ominous and like I'm some sort of food villain, and I'm not. I'm just trying to tell you guys that this is what happens. Just remember that, you know, if you're having a candy bar, if you're having specifically some sort of chocolate bar, make sure that you just try to have a single bite of the candy bar and then come back to it later, so that way, I don't know, you don't have to eat the whole thing. And you don't get all those calories into your body. You don't have to consume all of those fats. So there's an idea. You don't have to listen to me. No one really does. But it's worth a thing. You're worth a try. Just try that. Now I'm gonna move on from that because this number 1 thing I want to talk about is one of the worst things I feel like personally that you can put into your body, regardless if you're losing weight or not. Just as a human being, don't ever put this into your body. Number 1 is soda or any carbonated sugary drink. Do not consume that. Not only is there no nutritional value for it, it's completely bad for you. There's so many preserved, so many added chemicals to soda these days that it's just, you're asking to die. That time I meant to be dark and ominous. It's just, I hate soda. I think it's the worst thing ever imaginable. But let's get into it. The American Heart Association kind of did a study, and they said that the daily recommended sugar intake for human beings should be no more than 36 grams of sugar in a day. Now, a single can of 12-ounce cola has 41 grams of sugar. Now, that's a single 12-ounce of a 12-ounce, a little small guy. Do you know how many cans of cola? Do you know how many cans of cola people digest in a day? Some people have it with every meal. Some people have it as a snack. So you're looking at people having it twice a day to 3 times a day. And in that same study by the American Heart Association, they noticed that most Americans are having 500 cans of 12-ounce soda in a year. That amounts to about 61 pounds of sugar you've gained into your body from sugar alone. And the kicker is a lot of sodas like Coca-Cola, no shade, but a little bit of shade. Coca-Cola no longer uses legitimate sugar. They don't use natural sugar to sweeten their drinks anymore. What they're using is high fructose corn syrup, which is a lot cheaper and cost effective for their product. Now, you're now still getting the same amount of fake sugar in your body, and it's just fake and tampered with. And then the same goes for diet soda. Please, anyone who's a diet soda drinker, just give it up. There's nothing healthy about diet soda. Just because that can says 0 calories or 0 sugars does not mean there's not some terrible. It contains aspartame, which has also been linked to leading to cancer, to type 2 diabetes, to high heart problems. It also corrodes the enamel on your teeth. So just stay away from that. Just stay away from soda. If I see someone having a soda that I love, I will slap it out their hand. I've done it to, my parents, and they don't really like that, but I'm sorry. I'm 100% sorry. I'm not that much sorry, because you shouldn't be drinking soda. No one should be drinking soda. It's so bad for you. Cut it out completely. If I see you drinking soda, I swear to God, don't let me see you drinking soda. Anyway, so those are my top 5. Though I know there are worse carbs. I know there are some things that people feel like, oh, I can have white bread, and you can have these things. You can have these things you can have a healthy diet and still incorporate some of this. For example, chocolate. Dark chocolate is a phenomenal source of antioxidants. It's good for your skin. It's good for your digestive system. So I would stick with that if you were really into chocolate and you wanted an alternative. Also, an alternative to candies, stick with your berries, your fruits, all of that good stuff. Those are things that are naturally sweetened, and they have that natural fructose and glucose, which are good for energy, and they don't give you that crash afterwards. So these are alternatives, but everything else on this list besides soda is possible to maintain on a healthy diet in moderation. Just remember your calorie intake, remember what you should be having in a day. Just make sure you're tracking what you're putting into your body. But do not drink soda. I don't care who you are and what you do or why you're drinking it. Don't do it. Anyway, that's the video. That's the video that took me forever to put out because sound didn't work. But I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna put my Twitter here. I'm gonna put my Instagram here. So you can go ahead and follow me here on one of these thingsies. Also leave a comment and say hi. I say hi back. Thank you so much for stopping by. And as always, guys, stay blessed. And whatever you're doing in life, please have fun. Live your best life. Arrivederci.